Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Wednesday, March 30th, Ian Cameron, Jimmy Murphy alongside, ready to break down the Wednesday NHL card. An absolutely huge night of action last night based on the quality of games that were on the card last night. Well done, Alex B. Smith, manning the ship when it came to the betcast last night. Good job, Alex, with that. But it was just a loaded card. Big games up and down the board. Bruins, Leafs, Penguins, Rangers, Hurricanes, Lightning, Avalanche, Flames. It really was just a huge night of hockey with big games, playoff implications. Give Colorado credit. They ended up finding a way without Nathan McKinnon, beating Calgary 2-1. Very impressive win against a Calgary team that's obviously been surging as of late. No question about that. Toronto and Boston, give the Leafs credit. They pounced on Boston early. They were ready to go. Boston wasn't, and Toronto ends up going home with the 6-4 victory over the Bruins. Although they racked up some injuries, the Peter Mrazek getting hurt in the game, so definitely some things to be concerned about just a little bit, at least in the short term for Toronto. How about the New York Rangers? Another good victory for them against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and really for the New York Rangers, they're starting to really get their game into a higher gear. Their offense is starting to spring to life again as well, which is good to see. A lot of times, too much burden is placed on Igor Shesterkin, but the Rangers get a big win against the Penguins. And then we had Tampa and Carolina last night, and definitely one of the marquee games. And the Tampa Bay Lightning find a way in overtime. Steven Stamkos, they come back, they tie it in the third, and then they win it in overtime 4-3. Big win for Tampa Bay, because it closes the gap between them and first place Carolina in that division. So definitely good sign for the, actually not in the division, but overall in the Eastern Conference. So good news there. Tampa Bay trying to close the gap on the Eastern Conference leading Carolina Hurricanes, and they did so with that victory last night. Jimmy, some thoughts from the Tuesday night slate?
Yeah, look, I mean, I know I was just saying to you off the air about the Bruins Leafs there. After I got off with you guys when I was driving yesterday back to Boston, I spoke to an NHL scout. He's like, I don't like this one for the Bruins. Something tells me they're not taking the Leafs as seriously as the Leafs are taking them. And sure enough, I mean, the Leafs were playing, they entered that game as if it was a playoff game and their whole season depended on it. And rightfully so. I mean, there's a very good chance that these two teams will play in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and home advantage will be huge considering the history of the Leafs and the Bruins and all the nightmare game sevens that the Leafs have had in the last 10 years in Boston. So to have that game 7 in Toronto is huge, and they rightfully so took the game with that in mind, and they essentially kicked the shit out of the Bruins. I don't care if the score was 6-4. Bruins fans here saying, oh, same old Leafs, they almost blew it. Like you just said, they were down 2 defensemen and their goalie left. No, they didn't almost blow it. They were fine. That's going to happen there at the end there. They just wanted to get out of there, get out of Dodge, and they did that. And if they gave up those 2 late goals, who cares? It didn't matter. They still got the 2 points. And when all was said and done, anyone that watched that game could see that the Leafs kicked the Bruins' ass. I mean, that was plain and simple. I had a bad night, guys. I had my best bet was Calgary puck line. Kudos to Colorado. I mean, just gutsy win. You warned us. You said sometimes when you lose a star player, that the team can rise to the occasion, and that's what they did. So a huge win for Colorado there. That was probably, to me, along with the Leafs, the most impressive wins on the docket there. And yeah, I like what the Rangers did. I think that was like maybe one of 2 that I got right. And then those were basically the 3 I was able to focus on throughout last night.
All right, good stuff. Let's turn our attention to Wednesday. 6 games. We'll start with Winnipeg and Buffalo here on the Wednesday slate. We've got Winnipeg minus 150, home favorite, or road favorites, I should say, in this game. Total 6 across the board in this one. The Winnipeg Jets, of course, trying to hang on for playoff contention, trying to battle their way back into the mix. Obviously needing to try to get 2 points in games like this. However, Buffalo is not playing like a last place or bottom feeder NHL team right now. Far from it. What the Sabres have been doing, it's been very impressive as of late. Obviously, the resolve of this team, Jimmy, is just so impressive. They were on a back-to-back against Chicago, down 4-0. Could have easily said it's not our night. Oh well, on to the next one. They didn't do that, though. They chipped away, battled back, got that game tied, and it ended up, of course, the fluke goal. Yeah, a little lucky goal, a little bad, a terrible break for Chicago. The shot was taken, the stick broke, and the puck ended up deflecting off the backboards and then out to hitting the skate of Kevin Lankinen and going in the net. It was just a horrible way to lose for Chicago, but Buffalo put themselves in a position to win that game with the comeback after being down 4-0. So they deserve the credit for that. I'm not looking to step in front of Buffalo right now. I'm not. I mean, they're playing really good.
No.
I lean to them as a home dog. I think that Winnipeg is, to me, too flighty, too erratic, too up and down. Even in a game where they need the 2 points to try to make the playoffs, they're too erratic for me to trust them. Kyle Connor, by the way, has been ruled out tonight.
I was just going to tell you that, Ian, in case you didn't know. Yeah.
He
and
tested
Nate
positive.
Schmidt as well.
Yeah, Nate Schmidt as well for the Winnipeg Jets. I think it's a very dangerous game for the Jets here tonight. I'm definitely looking toward Buffalo here, plus 130. I like the over as well. Buffalo's been on a big overrun lately. And one thing about the Sabres is, regardless of Anderson or Tokarski, the two goalies, neither one's putting up a brick wall right now. And this team still can give up goals, be a little bit shaky on the back end. We know Winnipeg can be, and we know Hellebuck's definitely not had the season that a lot of people hoped for him. So I think we'll see some goals as well. So I like Buffalo over the total as well in this one. Jimmy, what do you think? Jets, Sabres.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love Buffalo in this game, especially now with the new. I would have liked him even if Connor and Schmidt were there, but I like them even more now that those guys are out of lineup for the Jets. I think this is a great dog right now. In fact, we're going to start the show off with a Jimmy reverse puck line, my friend. So Give me Buffalo minus 1.5 in this game.
Yeah, Buffalo minus 1.5. You can get that around plus 320. Crazy odds with that. And that's because they're already a decent-sized home pooch as it is, and you really get good value with the alternative puck line here for Buffalo in this game, currently at around.
And I'll jump on the over with you as well. I mean, this is a team, they're going to give up goals.
Yeah, definitely it feels that way for sure. All right, Rangers and Detroit now next up. We've got the New York Rangers minus 140 road favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. This is an interesting one right here because when you look at it with the Rangers, they had a big win last night against Pittsburgh. Now they're on a back-to-back. And this is going to be Detroit's first game since that 11-2 debacle at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins on Sunday. That was just an absolute embarrassment for the Detroit Red Wings. This, to me, yeah, I am feeling okay, Cheshire Cat. I tested negative, so it's all good. What I've got is a little sore throat and a little mild cough. That's it. Not COVID, so I'm all good. Thank you. I appreciate your concern, though, Cheshire.
What he's got is like what I call the Irish flu, boys and girls. Yeah. That's what Ian has.
A little bit of drinking. Yeah, exactly right. Because we've done some of that over the course of the week for sure. But yeah, I think there's another live home underdog. I mean, I think in this spot, we've seen the Rangers play down to teams at times.
Yeah.
We've seen them have these games where after a big win, they kind of, lose. New Jersey, look what happened there. They were coming off beating Tampa and beating Carolina on the road, Jimmy. They played New Jersey, and they got shellacked 7-4 in that game. I think they could be in danger here as well. And I think Detroit, obviously, trying to show some pride, make amends for just a horrendous game over the weekend against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'd be willing to assume Alexander Georgiev is going to be in net. It hasn't been confirmed, but I would expect him to be in net after we saw Shesterkin last night. It is a back-to-back. Georgiev's continuing to be up and down. He had one brilliant start against Carolina, and then the next start we saw him, he didn't play. He went back to Alexander Georgiev, was giving up 3-4 goals. So I think you look at it here, if he's in net, it's going to make things even more appealing here for the Detroit Red Wings. And by the way, still some injuries for the Rangers as well. When you're looking at Libor Hayek, Ryan Strome, Sammy Blais, Capo Caco still out for them as well. For the Red Wings, they do have a couple as well, DeKaiser and Mark Stahl on the blue line currently out of the lineup for them. But I don't care what the record is of the team. And obviously the Red Wings 26-32. It's not been a great season. But when you lose 11-2, you want to come out the next game and be a whole hell of a lot better. So for me, I'm going to split this with Detroit first period money line. And you can get that at around, it looks like right now with Detroit first period money line plus 115 or so. And then the full game money line is around plus 120. And this is another one where I'd lean over the total a little bit, especially with Georgiev. Ranger games trend over usually when he's in between the pipes. And if that's indeed I'm going to wait to bet that one to make sure he's in. But definitely will be on the over as well in this game if we do see that it's Georgiev confirmed in net for the Rangers. But definitely will be on already on Detroit here, first period, full game money line split in this one. Jimmy, Rangers, Red Wings.
Well, I'm kind of going the other way on this, Ian, and I kind of reckon back again to one of my picks yesterday. I think it was the other one I got right was the under 6, I believe, in the Flames Avs. And the reason was that I went with that, if you recall, was, the Flames were in a 9-5 game the game before that. And I just couldn't see Daryl Sutter, allowing his team to give up a 5 spot again, and just felt like no matter what, defense was going to be the emphasis. So now you look to the Detroit Red Wings, they just gave up 11 goals, not 5. They gave up more than twice as many as 5. And I would think that, look, Jeff Blashill, there's a lot of speculation in recent weeks that maybe Steve Yzerman was going to change his mind and get rid of him after this season. That could be very much accelerated. I know that this season's lost right now, and common sense would tell you that they'll just wait till the season's over to make the change, but that's not what I'm hearing out of Detroit. And my friend Bob Duff, who writes for us in Detroit at Detroit Hockey Now, heard the same stuff, and really, like, Blashill's on the hot seat right now, and he could be gone by the weekend if they don't come out with a solid performance. So I do see you maybe on them being a live dog, a wait to the game, see how it's going. But I love the under in this. Under 6.5 on a team that just gave up 11 goals. If they come away with anything right now, it's going to be that, look, we went out there, we tightened up our defense, we gave it our all, and at least we didn't get lit up. So that's why I like the under in this, and that will be my one play for it.
All right, liking the under. And yeah, you would think in theory, Detroit does want to be obviously a whole lot better defensively. When you give up 11, and this is not the first time they've done this either. The 10 spot they gave up to Toronto, the 9 goals they allowed to Arizona at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it has just been unbelievable how we have seen these absolutely dreadful games defensively from the Detroit Red Wings. And they've happened now 3 times where they've given up 9 goals or more.
Yeah. So you think if it happens again, I mean, that means they've given up on Blashill. That means the team's not with him anymore. And you just got to make a change. I mean, I saw it in Montreal. I don't mean to sidetrack here. I know we're in a hurry, but you start in Montreal with Ducharme there. The reason they made that change then instead of at the end of the season, even though the season was completely lost, Ian, I think we know was to just have a culture change for the young kids that you're developing down the stretch, for them to carry some momentum into the offseason and be confident for training camp next year. And Detroit, Stevie Y might want to do that right now because he's obviously developing a lot of young kids there.
Yeah, no doubt. And, he's been very patient with Jeff Blashill. There's no question about that. He's given him a lot of leeway, to be his head coach. But you're right. I think that leeway is wearing thin right now with what we're seeing from Detroit. All right, Los Angeles, Edmonton. We have the Oilers here, minus 200, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This is another one where the dog kind of intrigues me a little bit. LA had a complete no-show. That's what it was against Seattle the other night. I think they figured, we just beat this team on Saturday night. We'll beat them again on Monday.
Right.
And it doesn't work that way sometimes. And the Kraken took it to the LA Kings in that game. So the Kings are going to want a better effort. This could be one I target the first period with the Kings more than anything. The one concern is Edmonton got their game back in a big way against Arizona. Now, it was against the Coyotes. That's the disclaimer. But in terms of a complete team game, both ends of the ice. Goaltending from Koskinen was good. The whole game was just really good for the Edmonton Oilers. Good team defense, good goaltending. Obviously, the offense came to life as well. The kind of things we know the team's capable of, but consistently they don't always do it. The Kings hold a 2-point edge over the Oilers right now for second in the Pacific Division. So it is a big game for Edmonton. They win tonight in regulation. They tie LA for second in the Pacific Division. So that's definitely something to be aware of here. But after LA flat out did not show up, 6-1 in that loss Monday night to the Kraken, this could be a game where LA is locked back in. If they should be, they're playing obviously a team they are neck and neck with in the Pacific Division standings right now. So I'm going to go LA first period. Full game, I'd lean that way too. I think I'll probably have a little bit more percentage-wise on the first period with the Kings money line here than the full game, which is around plus 170. But again, I understand Edmonton being favored, but minus 200, really? I mean, Edmonton, I get it. At home, they're pretty good. They're coming off a pretty good performance against Arizona, but to me, I don't know if that's merit for a minus 200 favorite. To me, it's just a little too lofty a number and a price here for the Oilers. What do you think, Jimmy? Kings, Oilers?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on this. I like the Kings a lot. In fact, I'll jump right on that with you. I'm taking them as a straight up dog for the whole game, and I'm also taking another under here. I don't know. I'm under the influence of unders right now, Ian. I don't know, but they've been hitting for me. So give me the under 6.5 here as well.
All right, liking the under in this one, St. Louis and Vancouver. We've got Vancouver minus 110, total 6 in this one. I like the Canucks rapid revenge spot. They lost to the Blues earlier this week in St. Louis, and now these same two teams are playing each other again here in Van City. I like the Canucks here, minus 110, minus 115. That is the price you can get with them here in this game. By the way, Andrew McInnis passing along that his best bet is on this game over the total of 6. Andrew liking the over 6 here with the Blues and the Canucks. Hard to believe, but apparently Andrew is in worse shape than I am right now. He's not feeling good today, but hopefully he'll get better soon. But yeah, that's saying something.
Yeah,
Andrew, he's the one that's back home, and I'm on the trip, and he's apparently in worse shape than me. It was just
it's going around though. I'll tell you this. I mean, I must know about 20 people right now that just had COVID test done. Luckily, most of them negative, but some of them positive. But it's going around. I mean, even when I was in Montreal, Ian, I was at Hurley's Pub in Montreal on St. Patrick's Day, and I found out a week later that 10 of the people that were right around me all came down with COVID. I was the only one, luckily. I was amazed. I was like, wow, should I play a lottery ticket now? I mean, it was crazy. But COVID's still going around. The flu is still around. So everybody out there, stay healthy.
Yeah, no, there's no question about that. Very important piece of advice right there at this time, no doubt.
And drink some whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best piece of advice right there.
That's what my grandma gave me.
Yeah, that's right. Drinking some whiskey, that is the best piece of advice, no doubt right there. But yeah, when you look at this game here, like I say, just a turnaround from them playing a couple of nights ago, and I think you're going to see Vancouver bounce back here in this one. And again, the Canucks are in a spot where, you've got to get back in the saddle and back in the win column when you lose a game, because they are not assured of anything. 73 points trailing Vegas by 3 right now. They're still very much in it, Vancouver, but now we're down to about 14 games or so left in the regular season. You got to try to make inroads and trying to move up the standings when you get that opportunity. St. Louis, to me, especially away from home, can still be a little bit erratic at times, a little bit inconsistent. I've mentioned that Ville Husso, he really hadn't played as well, and then he came up with a phenomenal game the other night in St. Louis against Vancouver. Vancouver outshot. That's another thing. Vancouver, I thought they carried the play to St. Louis more than the other way around in that game the other night, even though it was a misleading final score, 4-1 for the Blues. I don't think the Canucks played that terribly. They had a lot of offensive zone time in that game, but they just weren't able to get the puck past Ville Husso enough to make it stand up. So I think tonight, back home, Vancouver gets it done. I like them minus 115 in this one. Jimmy, what do you think, Blues Canucks?
I'm with you again, buddy. Great minds think alike. It is a good chance to get quick revenge, and I think that will definitely be on their mind there. And I was reading about that game the other night, just sort of how St. Louis kind of took it to the Vancouver Canucks forwards there, really used the physicality on them to shut them down, especially when they'd come into the zone entries there and just stood them up at the blue line. So you got to think that Vancouver's going to adjust there, and they're going to want to utilize their speed, and they're going to make some adjustments. So that's something to watch there in game. But I just think, look, this is a Vancouver team that's fighting for their playoff lives right now. I don't say it. No, yeah, I'll say it. A little more at stake, I'd say right now, and then the Blues. So give me the Canucks in this on the money line.
All right, like in the Canucks as well here on the money line. Again, you can get that right now at around minus 110, minus 115, pretty much even money is what we're looking at here with the money line price in this game. All right, next up, we've got Vegas taking on Seattle. We've got Vegas minus 150, road favorites, total 6, pretty much across the board here with this next matchup. This should be an interesting game because you've got Vegas, who really, when you look at their last game, it felt like that game against Chicago. It was one of those games where if they lose it, maybe things completely spiral down for the Vegas Golden Knights, but they found a way. They were down in that game. It ended up being a crazy third period. And how about the fact that the guy they tried to trade away, Evgeny Dodonov, ends up scoring, and Sean McDonough said it on the call of that goal, that that the guy that tried to trade away, he wouldn't leave, and he scored the biggest goal of the year. It really
I wish I had done that prop. I mean, it was so obvious it was going to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just like fate, destiny.
Yeah.
It was destiny. It was written in the stars for Evgeny Dodonov to score an overtime game-winning goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, and it was most assuredly one of the biggest goals of the year for them. No question about that, as they try to hang on desperately for a wild card spot right now in the Western Conference. It's the kind of win that I think propels them from a momentum standpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and do something that I don't do very often. I'm going to lay a moderate price here, minus 150 with Vegas. And I'm not going to bother with regulation because Seattle's scrappy enough where, they could hang around and make this close. And look, Vegas is still very much banged up. We can't lose sight of that fact either when you look at who's still out for them. Talking about Will Carrier, Nick Hague on the blue line, Braden McNabb on the blue line for them, Smith, Stone, Pacioretty up front. But the good news is they have Alec Martinez back now, which is huge. That's significant. You're talking about Stanley Cup champion defenseman, very experienced, very good, both ends of the ice. So you at least have him back now, which definitely helps this team. I think they can go into Seattle and get this win. Chris Driedger, by the way, in net tonight for the Seattle Kraken. Obviously, for Driedger, when you look at his performance against LA, it was very good. Prior to that, he had not played well most of the season, but give him credit. Monday night against the Kings, 1 goal allowed on 37 shots. So a very, very strong game in net for Driedger. But I just think that kind of win that they got against Chicago is momentum for Vegas. They build on it, and I think they get the victory here tonight. I don't lay road chalk very often, especially in this range, but I'm going to go ahead and lay the minus 150 here with the Vegas Golden Knights. And I would also look toward over the total in this game as well. Jimmy, what do you think here? Vegas, Seattle.
I'm right with you. I'll take it a step further, too. I'm going, first off, I'm going to take the puck line on Vegas in the first period there, and then I'm taking the puck line overall for the whole game. This just smells of a letdown game for Seattle there. They've been, just outrageously inconsistent all year. We've seen this before where they go in and dominate a team and then they lay an egg the next game. So I think that happens again here. And I think you're right. I think Vegas is about to go on a little run here and make a push. So give me the first period puck line on Vegas and the overall puck line.
All right, there you go. Liking the split puck line, first period and full game. Jimmy Murphy liking that with the Vegas.
If I don't hit it, I'm going to say something else but it begins with an F in front of UCK.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can put 2 and 2 together.
Leap.
Yeah, we can put 2 and 2 together with that for sure. All right, San Jose and Arizona, final game of this Wednesday NHL card. We've got San Jose minus 160 road favorites. Total in this one currently 6 across the board. I ain't laying a price on the road with the San Jose Sharks. I can tell you that right now. I like Arizona a little bit here, believe it or not. It's just for me a price situation where you've got San Jose minus 160 on the road. I'm just never, ever ready to trust this team as a minus 160 road favorite. Really is that simple. And to me, it's just that's the fundamental basis for this bet. I just don't think San Jose should be minus 160 road chalk. They haven't played good on the road for a long period of time either. I think they've lost a bunch of their recent road games. They haven't been able to put a bunch of quality wins together on the road. And the one thing about Arizona, they obviously are a team that's kind of gone backward again. Remember, they had those big underdog wins, big outright underdog wins on that road trip, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, but they were getting largely outplayed in those games. We do have to factor that. And now it's coming home to roost. They're still getting outplayed, outchanced, outshot, but now they're not winning these games. Now they're losing them as they should be. That being said, Andre Tourigny, the head coach, was not impressed with the team against Edmonton the other night. I think Edmonton was sitting on a big bounce-back game after what happened in Calgary on Saturday night. But still, the coach for Arizona was not thrilled with his team's effort away from the puck either against the Edmonton Oilers. Too careless, he said. Too many turnovers with the puck, and it ended up in the back of their net. And if you watch that Arizona-Edmonton game, you know that's the case. I mean, it was just too careless, too reckless with the puck for the Arizona Coyotes. I think they cleaned it up. They're back home. I think they're getting a decent number here, and it's more than anything. I ain't trusting San Jose as minus 160 road favorites right now. So I'm going to go and take a shot with Arizona here, plus 140 in this one. Jimmy, what do you think, Sharks, Coyotes?
This is a Jimmy pass for me. I got no interest in this crappy game.
It is. It definitely is not the one of the glamour games tonight on the NHL card. That is for sure. But great stuff, Jimmy, as always. And yeah, like I say, it's been this is going to be, by the way, the last Ice Guys show that I do here from the studios, the Pub Sports Radio studios inside the Southtown 101 bar in San Antonio. And I just have to say one more time, thank you to everyone for allowing me to use this studio for this Ice Guys show, for the several shows we've done the last few days. It's a great place, great spot. Appreciate it very much. And thank you again. So it's been great. And before we wrap up, we also, of course, want to talk about DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NHL. Great partners with THPN and the Ice Guys as well. A reminder, new customers can bet just $1 on any NHL team and win $150 in free bets if that team wins. DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet. You can still play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Hockey Contest. DraftKings giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN and get involved with that. Must be 21 years of age or older. Must reside in a DraftKings Sportsbook state. New customers only. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings app. Sign up for an account. Use the promo code THPN. All right, time for best bets to wrap up the Wednesday show. Jimmy, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Buffalo Sabres. Give me that reverse puck line. I'm going for it all here on the best bet. Give me the Buffalo Sabres to win minus 1.5.
All right, Buffalo Sabres. That's minus 1.5 alternative puck line for Jimmy Murphy with his best bet. Going for the gusto here.
Let's do
it. With the Buffalo Sabres here. And yeah, this team just dramatically undervalued now for weeks. It's been the Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch, Jeff Skinner show lately for them. They've been phenomenal. And look, Kyle Okposo's been good. Casey Middlestat now is starting to find his footing after missing a lot of time this year. They are impressing me night in, and they give a damn now. They do. They're working hard every night, this team. So I like it. Buffalo minus 1.5 for Jimmy, alternative puck line for his best bet. My best bet, I'm going to go with Vancouver minus 110 against St. Louis. I think they bounce back. I think they end up getting back on track after that tough loss the other night against the Blues. So 4-1 loss the other night. I think Vancouver gets it back tonight. Vancouver minus 110 against St. Louis for my best bet tonight on this Wednesday card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys. Thanks
Ian,
to everyone.
Hot toddy, buddy. You know what a hot
Yes.
toddy is? Jameson,
Oh, of course.
honey, and tea. Get her going, buddy.
I do. I do need to get that going for sure. Absolutely.
Feel better,
All
my
right.
friend.
Yes, we do actually bet these best bets. Of course we do.
Yep.
That's obvious. Yeah. Someone in the chat asking that. Yes. All right. Great stuff. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Jimmy Murphy, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. I'll be back on Friday, but the crew will have you covered tomorrow with the Thursday edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.